1 minute.
Yeah, it's our evidence. We cannot shy away from that. So mine, Comrade Mabel, please next year, if we want to do this happening, at least let's have that progress. See, based on what has been articulated today, what is the progress in 2024? My SACP activist, I want to assure the rest of the audience here, South Africa will never collapse. I want to assure you, South Africa will never collapse. ANC is put, and then people will come that we entrust.
Oh, yes.
That's it. We cannot be living in fear because of their internal squabbles. Some of us will know about it. Exactly what these guys are doing, they're displaying what you call their dirty linens on our expense. Next year we're going there, we're going to use our conscience.
Yeah.
And then they must move out, and then we'll see who we deem fit to run the affairs of this country.
Thank you.
Okay, one minute. Oh, okay, few seconds. I'm sorry. Yeah. Few seconds. I'm trying in the challenge of this Africa diaspora. There's Africa diaspora SA, there's Africa diaspora. So I'm not sure if you can balance me there. This one is directed to you.
Okay,
sure.
Thank you. Let's try to be brave, comrades. Let's start there at the corner. We'll come down.
Thank you very much. My name is Velile Moyo from Matebele Land, Zimbabwe, from Twagas. I'll just highlight a few things here. Maybe first appreciating the African Diaspora Forum. I have never seen it in this light, but I think I like the engagements that I hear from maybe let me say, as we are all seated here, probably we are focusing on the self-determination of Africa as a continent, not necessarily castigating the whole global world, but in a way to look at ourselves in the picture of the whole globe and where we belong and what we can do for the emancipation of Africa. I think a lot of things have been said here. I was touched also from the Sudan point of view, if we look at it from how that has been influenced outside of Sudan to create a scenario that they are actually going through. Maybe let me just get to the point and say, when we are looking at Africa as a whole and our problems, you will discover that the problems that we have most probably do not have solutions. Let me just put an example. When we wrote a letter to the African Court regarding human rights abuses in Zimbabwe, and also the issue of the genocide that was perpetrated by the government of Zimbabwe to the people of Matebele Land, they expressed their incapability or incapacity to deal with such issues. And then my question now comes to say, do we as Africa have instruments that are ready to deal with the challenges that we're facing? Because if you look at it from the global aspect, yes, we do. From the global aspect, yes, we do have the International Code. We do have the United Nations as managing the nations. But as Africa, we'll always talk about these issues. Right now, my brother there raised an issue that touches South Africa. But now, if South Africa has to deal with its brother or sister countries, which instruments do we use to deal with our internal problems as Africans? Because we do not have such instruments. And then at the end of the day, we'll have to go back to the imperialists to also prescribe a solution for us. Then how are we going to arrive to the solutions that we need if we do not have the instruments that are necessary to deal with our problems? Out of racism, we've got issues of tribalism that are rocking us and they are the very cause of the instability that you see civilly. So how do we come up with instruments to deal with such issues?
Okay, thank you so much. Lunch is ready. It is going to get cold. I will not cut you off 3 minutes, then we go and eat. Who's next? Comrade there.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. My name is Collins. I'm the president of Nigerian Union South Africa. I'd like to apologize first and foremost for coming late. I just have to be there because this is my heart, and I came in from Limpopo this morning. I didn't want to miss it, but I'm here because I want to be in a forum like this where we discuss some of the things that we've been hearing. So I'm sorry for coming in late. I won't be speaking for more than 2 minutes. I just want to appreciate what my brother said here in terms of when people migrate into another country, they should be able to respect the country where they are. Thank you very much for that. I really appreciate that. And that is what we've been preaching as an organization, that when you come into a foreign country, first and foremost, you have to abide by the law of the country. Having said that, I would say that most of the speakers here have spoken, about what is going on in Africa. They've spoken in terms of big things, but there is one area which I feel that we've not touched so much. Again, I loved the example that you gave. If we cannot love each other as humans, as humans, all these things, all these beautiful grammars, beautiful plans, plans that we have would never succeed. For instance, how does a Zimbabwean see me as a Nigerian? How do I see a South African as an African? If we can get down to those fundamental issues, loving each other first and foremost as humans, and then as Africans, it will be very easy for us to deal with the issues that we are facing in Africa and in our individual countries.
Amen.
I won't want to take much of your time, but this is my heart desire, that we can come together as human beings first and look at what is the problem that my brother is facing and what is the problem that this other brother is facing, irrespective of the country that they are coming from, and how can we assist each other in dealing with those problems so that our children and the generations to come will benefit from whatever is it that is put in place right now. Thank you very much.
You have 10 seconds to announce about the event on Saturday. 10 seconds.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. Okay, myself here, I'm here with my honorable, our treasurer, which is Honorable Trust Oyele. He's here with me. On Saturday, which is the 27th, we've organized a social cohesion event. A social cohesion event, which means we want to, meet with all Africans. We sit down, South Africans, Zimbabwe, we sit down and discuss what is the problem that you are experiencing from me as a Nigerian, as a community. What is that problem? We want to hear it. And then we, as other African migrants, we also want to hear from South Africans. We would also like South Africans to hear from us the challenges that we are facing, so that we sit down, discuss them, and structure a way forward on how to deal with them, so that we can live peacefully and grow this wonderful, beautiful country and economy. Thank you very much.
But where is the venue?
Okay, it's a Magnolia Park. The Magnolia Del Park in Pretoria.
Thank you.
The time is from 10 o'clock.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right at the back then. The treasurer.
Thank you so much.
That side? Okay.
Thank you so much. My name is Trust Oyele. Like my president, I'm the treasurer of the Nigerian Union South Africa. I wouldn't have spoken again since the president spoke, but since I came, I was actually representing them. Just fast forwarding, for what he said, just to contribute to that quickly, the event is going to be an event where we showcase even our African traditions, food, cultural settings, and all sort of things that we all carry as Africans. And I'm going to say this quickly concerning what we are here for today. The AFTA EU is, for us to have a successful one, I think we need a serious collaboration within ourselves. And collaboration doesn't just happen by knowing somebody or mentioning them, but we need a relationship. Do we really have the relationship within us as Africans? Number one, because we might shy away from it. South Africans, Nigerians, Congo, wherever, whoever we are. It mentions something about respecting the culture or the tradition of the land. We must also respect those that come from anywhere they come from, in as much as we need to respect each other. It's reciprocal. And we also go to the educational system. He mentioned about Bantu and mentioned that we need an overhaul of our educational system as African. And I think it would be beautiful. How do you expect somebody who speaks in their language or in a language, a foreign language, to understand chemistry? I'm a science person by my degree. And one of the things I love is when you go to China and other places, they speak in their language to study their. How do you expect someone like that to fail? No, it's impossible. We need to go back to that drawing board to see how we can integrate that system into. I think in Nigeria right now we have a Yoruba AI. I'm an IT specialist. We have an AI that is actually working towards it. We do it in a form whereby it translates our Yoruba language into the science system, and we're seeing how we incorporate that into our education system. 1 minute, okay. And family reorientation. It's easy to come here, no matter how oratorical we can be, if we are not being pragmatic about being practical towards actualizing or implementing the things we discuss, it comes to zero. We need to reorientate our family background. Teach your people, teach your children from home. These things begin from home. We don't teach them foreign languages, foreign things. Why we forget our history? And the last thing I will say, which I mentioned in the first thing, is we need a proper relationship with each other, knowing each other. And I want to tell the ATF, please, this kind of gathering should not be for people who are already well informed, like us. Can we integrate this thing into our society in South Africa? People do not have knowledge. When you see people destroying things on the street, not the educated one that is well dressed like my brother there, they are the people who are misinformed. Yes. Some of us will never even do things that is wrong, but those who are not informed, they take up because they feel like the only way I can do it is by violence. Dialogue is one way we can move Africa. He said there is nothing wrong with us that cannot be cured with what is right here with us. We have an answer to our problem. Thank you.
Thank you. I've already put your name in one of our commissions. You are the ATF, my chief at the back.
Greetings, everyone. My name is Tulani Giovanni from Wabulawayo, representing the people of Abawanzi as Umtwagazi here in South Africa, working hand in hand with the Royal Kingdom of KwaZulu-Natal, the Royal Kingdom of KwaZulu, who are the people that I'm working under. So now, as Africans, today I think we're celebrating Africa Day, but for me, I don't understand why we're celebrating Africa Day, just because we as Africans have got a problem. We don't know what exactly are we celebrating. Why am I saying that? I'm saying that just because we are fighting each other tribal. So I think our people needs to be taught their history, because that, I think that's where we must start from. We need to teach our people their history so that they will know who exactly we are. Then if you know who exactly you are, then there will no need for us to be fighting for things that are necessary. So history needs to be taught to our people. That's the most important thing. Sometime 3 days back, I saw a clip that was going through social media whereby a Sutu guy was fighting another Sutu guy coming from Lesotho, telling him to get to pack his things and go. because this is his country, he must go back to his country in Lesotho. But now, the problem, the language that they were using, while he's chasing each other, they were using Sotho. They were not speaking English. They were speaking in Sotho. So for me, it was very funny because these people, they understand each other very well. But he's chasing him, he's saying, hey, you are Kwerekwere. How can someone be Kwerekwere while you are speaking the same language? So it's fun. These people need to be taught their history. So I think if we teach each other our history, then things will be better. I know, I don't have anything to say.
Right, I will skip search, Fuyana.
Sanbonani, good afternoon. My name is Alphonse Fuyana from Toga's Republic Party, a secessionist or restorationist movement in the western parts of Zimbabwe. We as Mtogazens, we say we're not gonna celebrate Africa Day because the very same Africa has swept under the carpet a genocide which killed over 1 million of our people. I say 1 million while other books say 20,000. But until someone gives us the official figure of how many of our people were killed by Mugabe's regime from 1980 to 1987, we are going to keep that figure at 1 million and counting going upwards. So I heard my sister there saying we need to silence the guns. But my question to the panel and all academics in Africa is how can we silence the guns when governments within our republics marginalize, subjugate, and genocide their people? Our languages in Zimbabwe, the Ndebele language, is being completely destroyed. Our homes are being taken over. The farms which were previously white-owned have been taken over by our new native colonialists in the form of people from Harare. I will not say the Shona for fear of being called tribal, but that's the bottom line. Shonas are occupying our land. In our schools, our children are being taught in Shona. But then when we pick up arms, Africa in the SADC, instead of coming to fix the root cause of that conflict, they will come with helicopters, Apaches to bomb us, like we saw in Cabo Delgado. The whole of SADC, including Rwanda, they went and bombed those people in northern Mozambique, accusing them of being terrorists. How can someone be a terrorist when he's trying to protect his own lands? When one is trying, like in Mozambique, they looted all the resources in Cabo Delgado to develop Maputo. Those people have got a right to fight their own land. The people of Amazon have got a right to fight for their land. The people of Mtwagas have got a right to fight for their land as well. The people of Western Sahara have got a right to fight for their land. So as Africans, we must be truthful with each other. Before internal problems, tribalism, marginalization is fixed within our countries, there will be conflict in Africa. If America, if Russia, if China comes to me today and says, I'm giving you an AK-47 to go and fight for our people, I'm going to take it. Because Africa has failed to stand up for the marginalized within its borders. Thank you.
There is my sister here. Let me skip you, Chief. There is my sister here.
Sanbonani, Lochani, Ututu Oma, Kongo in Pote, Moga, Mbanjo, Saba Alga. It's African languages. It's saying Sanbonani. So let's. I'm noticing that we are allowing us to be captured in the mind. We have been captured in our mind for so long. France, Portuguese, England, and USA really has made a damage to our African people. Not forgetting to introduce myself. My name is Tembi Manana. I'm from African People's First. I'm the spokesperson for the Women's League of African People's First. In the location, I'm also a whistleblower. I apologize for coming late, and I apologize for not acknowledging I was supposed to be one of the speakers. So due to electricity, we don't have electricity close to 4 weeks now. In the morning and at night. You can see. So electricity is becoming one of our, I don't know, we are prisoners of electricity. So I don't know, I'm trying to cover what I was supposed to say, but thank you for our speakers.
You have 2 minutes.
Yes. You know what? We are the instruments for the solution. Let's not give up, South Africans. Let's not give up, African brothers and sisters. We are here to win it, isn't it? Yeah. We can still say Happy African Day. This is an initiative to go somewhere. So, to name a few, we have supported the Mzilikazi forums. We have supported Umtwakazi Nation by going to government. We faced government. Our president Hlengwa went to spoke with the Minister of Home Affairs that the Mtwakazi, we heard their stories. We want them to gain the citizenship of South Africa, to gain the ideas for their children that have studied here, because it's really unfair what they have told us. So, to name a few, as African people, we have made, as Africans, we must make this awareness of these African people, of our struggles. We as Africans, we don't know our struggles. We don't know ourselves. Can this not stop here? Can this go to our location where the government go and perpetrate our people and telling them to vote for them? They don't know. Sorry, I apologize for them. They don't know our history. We don't know each other. What we know to hate each other. They've destroyed our education. They destroy our religion, our culture. South Africa, Africa, it's very beautiful. Let's practice our Ubuntu. Let's practice to know our race. And let's bring back our Afro-modalism. Our technology is very bad. We don't know anything. Our trade in 2019, we were at 2% in trading in Africa.
Thank you so much.
While our raw materials are being 80% going out.
Thank you, comrade. I'll give you 1.5 minutes, comrade Brian, because we came late.
Protocols observed. I am Brian Mzringa from Disabled Migrants Rights Networking Organization, and I feel happy to be inclusive. There's inclusiveness within the environment because I'm the only person with disability. Then these are the good indicators that our Ubuntu and empathy is being seen in your tolerance. Comrade Fundi, before I could ask my questions, thank you very much. I thought you were going to say you were the former director of Tisela Labour Institute Education, of which I'm a beneficiary after you saw me at COSATU. You took me to school. I went to University of Western Cape. I did political economy, and it was not easy. And I'm still using their offices. That's where I am best because of you. So I think if we could have many Africans who can sacrifice and risk their jobs for other people, it's very rare. Even the mere fact that you associate with us, in your communities, you shall be called names and stuff and all that, because there's too much disinformation. So coming to the issue of, from why I came late, my leader, General, I thought I was going to hear climate change migration and its impact caused by neoliberals. South Africa at the moment is #1 in Africa as the worst polluter because of Sasol and Malasheni and stuff. And the consequences already seen from the Natal internal migration. Already people will be displaced in future. So as a perpetrator, as much as you only see the push and pull factor, but are you aware that you are part of the problem into those countries again from such consequences? Doc, Mama, I would say, thank you. Is there political will from the government to implement all the ratifications which are very progressive, African Charter, National Action Plan, which addresses all this? As much as South Africa is one of the 6 countries in the region which have respected and also shown the willingness to be one of the accountable government, but there is no willing to implement all the grassroots. So last thing which I would say, it goes to Professor Abdul. There's too many invisible hands in your country. And I thought you were going to cover the issue of secession when we get where you are, so that in future we learn from such case studies. Because now, I'm a communist, he recruited me. I'm just going to, that's why your face. I would say, I thought, yes, I respect Russia. But Russia and America, they're exercising their power in your country. Nobody's talking about that. You see, and they are part of this problem. And it's coming even here. South Africa is a country, right now, at night you're dealing with America. During the day you work with Russia. And you're making things difficult. The rand, that's why it's losing buying power. So I would say, leader, all the people who are here, I think you are telling each other good things to the wrong people. We know the people we need to educate are out there, but unfortunately we don't have resources and money because funders, they need to be answerable to us. They are funding researchers who pile up good work which is not being made to use. We need to challenge those things. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Comrade Cindy. So I was going to close with a word of prayer for us. I didn't recognize my sister, Helen. We work with them. They are a powerhouse. If you know the buses going to Zimbabwe, they have their offices there. They have been assisting lots of migrants there. They have an office, even though the buses will be making noise, they have offices up there. We work together. I was meant to ask the panelists, I'm subjecting you, Chief. I was meant to give...
It's a point of order.
I gave you 4 minutes, Chief. What's the point of order now?
No, but the point of order is something that I can't take out of my mind. Please, next time is an African diaspora forum. The South African flag is smaller than those flags.
No, we spoke about it yesterday. Thank you. I was supposed to give our panelists 3 minutes each to respond, but let me not do that. Because, sorry, comrades, we have been given up to 1 o'clock in this place. So what we are going to do, Comrade Helen, I've just recognized you. Be disciplined. Right? So what we are going to do